Hi everyone, my name is Zara Farami, and welcome to another segment of Zara Unfiltered. I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support with the first two videos, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I just want to let you know that this is a safe space. This is a platform created to talk about the issues and the hardships that we sometimes face in our everyday life, but we may not be too comfortable sharing it out in the open. This is why I created this platform. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So in the previous video I did before this one, I was exploring the topic of protecting your peace, and I was making mention of the importance of how you shouldn't live your life by the timeline set on others. And after I finished that video, I'm like, okay, next, on to the next topic, because I have different topics that I would like to discuss. But as I was thinking about it, I was realizing there are so many factors that go into place on whether or not our peace is protected the way it should. And that's the topic I really want to get into in this video. And it's focusing on our relationships. And when I say relationships, I don't just mean, oh, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. I mean your friendship. It's the people around you, those who have access to your life. Because those who have access to your life, they have access to your peace. I realize as I'm making these videos, I'm really preaching to myself, because this is one area of my life where I am 150 million billion% guilty. I have given access to my life to people who don't deserve it. Like, I remember I was going through something with a friend, and my best friend said to me, she was like, not everyone should have access to you. And I'm going to add on to that. Not everyone deserves to have access to you. You have value. You bring things to the table. And unfortunately, not everyone is going to see that. And if they don't see that, it's okay. Move on, cut yourself off, and find those people who will see the value that you add. Again, those who have access to you have access to your peace. So one thing that I've helped, because I've taken a step back, I've analyzed my friends, and I was thinking, what did I do wrong that landed me into some of these situations? And one step that I think everyone should do and implement before they bring new people into their life, before they bring new people into their peace, is set standards. Standards, standards, standards. We have standards. Literally almost every aspect of our lives involves one form of standards or another. From our clothes to the food we eat, the juice we drink, everything that's on the market today has had to meet some sort of standard before they could be introduced on that market. The clothes that we are wearing, if they did not meet a specific standard, they would not be for sale. The FDA regulates the food and the drugs and medication we put in our body. If they don't meet the standards, we cannot use them. And it seems that we have standards in every area of our lives. Unfortunately, not when it comes to our friendships. I hear people introduce standards when they're looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or they even wait as late as marriage. Something as early on as friendship should involve some form of standard. Like I said, various aspects of our lives involve one form of standards or another. The cars that we drive, Honda, Toyota, Mercedes, not all the designs that they've ever made actually end up on the roads. Only the ones that met the standards are available for consumers to buy. And even then, cars are still ranked differently. Some are ranked higher than others. Some outperform others. Some have more value associated to them than others. Why? Because they bring more to the table. They add more that their counterparts don't. For example, an SUV is not going to have as much speed as a sports car. However, it has more space. It has more safety features, God forbid you were ever in an accident. It's now up to the consumer to decide, okay, do I want speed or do I want this? They find out what's best for them. I'm not trying to talk about cars, but I'm thinking the same process we use in picking out our cars, picking out what products to use on our hair, on our face, our clothes, where to shop, where to endorse, different things. All that process and thinking that goes into those things should go into the people we bring into our lives. What does the standards do? The standards will determine who deserves to stay and who needs to go, who's not cutting it. Standards, standards, standards. We have them everywhere else. It's time that we implement them in the people that we call our friends. When setting standards, it requires you to be very honest with yourself. And the good thing about them is it's never too late to start applying them. So it's good to take a step back and think of your relationships. Think of the people that are in your life and think, what are these people adding to my life? And the thing about it is, though, friends, people, they're all human. We all make mistakes. We're all flawed. So you're not going to get the perfect person. Just as there's no such thing as the perfect car that gives you everything, you're not going to get the perfect person all in one. Not every friend is for everything. I've actually learned that lesson from my brother. He's good at really separating his friends for different things, and it works really well for him. He's really good at balancing that. But yeah, you need to take a look back and look at your friends, look at the people who have access to you, and realize, what role are they playing? What purpose are they serving? Are they an encourager? Are they someone that motivates you, that pushes you forward, that brings out the best in you, even though you may not always see it in yourself? Someone that will not allow you to give up on your dreams. Someone, when it's hard, they're there pushing you on, telling you, yes, you got this. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Or are they someone that holds you accountable? Someone that's not afraid to pull you aside and be like, hey, what you did really wasn't so cool. Or I think you can work on this. Someone who tells you the truth in love. Or are they an aspirational friend? The aspirational friend is the friend that's occupying a space or position that you one day want to be in. And the beauty of having friends like that are they're the ones that are already on a journey that you one day want to embark on. So they know all the struggles, they know all the pitfalls, so you can learn from their mistakes instead of making your own. What role are your friends playing in your life? I remember in biology, we learned about different types of relationships. Is it a parasitic relationship? Are they playing a role? Or are they just taking, and sucking you dry? It requires a lot of honesty, and it's sometimes a painful process because you realize you have to let go of people that you wished would stay in your life forever. Setting standards can really be a huge eye-opener because you realize, unfortunately, not everybody is going to meet up to those standards. I remember when I started setting standards for myself quite recently. I'm a work in progress. But I remember when I started setting standards and I wasn't taking like nonsense that I was taking before. I remember like when I started putting my foot down, like, okay, I'm not taking this, I'm not taking this. I was accused of being childish and they were like, grow up. And I'm like, what? Because I'm not taking the rubbish I was taking before. Okay, no problem. I'm realizing growing up sometimes requires you to let go. And like I said, standards are the eye opener. They let you know who to hold on to and who to let go. And you might be in a predicament like me where it's like you already have friends and you're just wondering like, okay, should we still be in this friendship or is it time for us to like, you go your way, I go my way? And another thing that I find very helpful, or another tactic that I've used to help me determine who should stay or is noticing patterns, being aware and alert to patterns. I had a best friend, and okay, let me not even do that. We were best friends, and we were friends since I was like 17, and we were really close, really close, really close in the beginning. But as time went by, I realized I'm the only one initiating conversations. Every time we spoke, it was because I reached out first. If I called, my calls were never returned, no message, the person would like ghost. But if they called me, I would set time aside out of my schedule for them. So I was just like, okay, this needs to stop. Let me see something. So I kept quiet and I didn't say anything. Over 6 months went by and the person finally reached out to me and they're like, you forgot about me. I'm like, no, I just didn't initiate conversation. And I was like, you can even look at our conversations. I'm always the one talking first. I'm like, oh, it's not like that. It's not like that. I'm like, it's okay, no problem. And I realized, like, okay, this friendship, I'm not as important to this person as I feel they are to me. And it hurt, but I had to be honest with myself because I was just like, this is taking more energy out of me. I'm not getting anything back. And then the shame and the sad part about this is like, every time I needed help or something, they were not there. But whenever they needed help, they always came to me, and I somehow always made time, to the point where certain areas of my life were even falling behind. And I was like, okay, I can't even do this. It was so bad. Like, the person, we don't even talk like that. But I remember when we found out we were getting stimulus check, the person was even in my WhatsApp joking, oh, I heard you got check, sharing is caring. I'm just like, but it was really painful when I decided to pull back, because I was like, this is not. And one thing about me that I'm so guilty of is that I like to hold on to the good times, the good times. And anytime there's a problem, I always take my mind to the good times. I always take my mind to the good times. There's nothing wrong with remembering the good times, but don't hold on to them to the point where you are even suffering. I was even suffering, but I was like, good times, we had good times, until I realized our last good times happened in 2016. We are in 2020. What have you done for me lately? So it was, I joke about it now, but it was hard. And that's the thing, I don't even know if the person is really aware that I'm not really, like, I just pulled myself back. But good times were good. We always remember them. We thank God for them. But like I said, don't hold on to them so much to the point that you overlook the patterns the way I did, that you end up suffering in the present because you're so busy looking in the past. No, you're worth more. One more point I want to make before I finish this video is that, well, I realized this actually during the process of counseling and during this journey of self-discovery. I realized that you really need to be honest with yourself. In order to see any form of improvement or to get better, to feel better, you need to be honest with yourself. And one area you need to be honest with yourself is that you may be someone's bad friend or be that toxic friend. I know I am guilty of this. I'm so ashamed to admit this, but I've neglected friends who have always been there for me, who have always had my back. I've neglected them just to show attention to people that frankly didn't deserve it. To show attention to people who were just using me in some cases. To show attention to people who weren't adding any value to my life. And when I was going through this whole like journey and this whole realization with the depression and everything, I realized the people that I had neglected at one time or another were the ones that were there for me, were the ones that were showing support, were the ones showing love. I'm so grateful for my best friend. Like, there are times where I have like put guys and everything like that didn't deserve it before her, but ironically, she's the one that's still here, helping me, encouraging me while we're there. And it's like, I could have, the energy that I was showing them, I could have put in our friendship. And our friendship may have ended up being like way better than it is now. We have an amazing friendship. Love you. But I had to be honest with myself. And it's like, I feel sometimes we all do that. We sometimes might not put as much energy in some of the relationships that are worth saving. Not every relationship is worth saving, but the ones that are, put your all into it. Put your energy into it. Follow the patterns. Those people who have proved loyal to you, bring them close. Like my uncle always says to me, my brother, my cousins, he always tells us that we shouldn't bring anyone to a state of intimacy who hasn't proven their loyalty to us, who hasn't shown themselves loyal. Those, like I said, watch the patterns. Those who are meeting the standards, those who have a pattern of being there, always having your best interests at heart, hold them close to you. There's a quote that says relationships, well, friendships, they're like elevators. They either raise us up or bring us down. And it's up to us to determine who we let into our lives, who we let have access to our peace. Thank you, everybody, once again for sharing your time with me. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Bye.